To start, you can just come to sit down on the ground and bring your right foot in front of you in line with the long edge of your mat and your left leg in line with the short end of your mat. And if you're like able to find that true 90-90, then that is great. And if you're a little bit more compressed, that's totally fine as well. I'm going to be more compressed so that I can have both ankles on the mat. So you're in this 90-90-ish position. And then just to start, reach your arms out to the side. Think about growing nice and tall, really reaching your arms from one side to the other. And then you're just going to fall over to the left, taking a nice side bend over here. Keep reaching down through your right hip. Think that this whole right side is getting nice and long. And then come all the way up. And then bring your right hand down and side bend up and over to the right side. And then again, going back to the left. And then one more time over to the right. And then last time to the left. Really think about breathing into that right side, expanding through the ribs. Right hand comes down, side bend up and over to the left. And then straighten that right arm. You can walk it away from you a little bit. But from here, you're just going to reach that arm underneath your right arm. And then open it back up towards the ceiling. You can think about rotating around that bottom arm. And then reach it and twist underneath. Or you can bring your hand behind your head, pressing out of the floor as you open towards the ceiling. One more time. Rotate and twist under. And then hand behind your head or up towards the sky, your choice. Reaching out of that right hand to open. Come back to the side and then sit all the way up here. Both hands are going to come behind your head. Think about lifting up nice and tall. And you're just going to twist up and over towards the right. And then center. And twist to the left. And center. If your back foot is by a wall, you can think about pressing gently into that wall with the foot. And then rotate, uncurl yourself to the left, back to the right one more time. Using your breath to help you twist a little farther towards the right this time. And then uncurl yourself to the left. Bring your hands back behind you. Press up out of them so you're not sinking down into your shoulders. And then you're just going to windshield wiper your legs back and forth from one side to the other. Again, lifting up out of the floor. Ooh. 2 more times before we switch sides. Last one. And then switch. And then you are going to bring that right leg back behind you. Left leg in front of you. 1 second. Sorry, my air conditioning has shut off and it is already warm in here. And then you're going to press gently back with that right foot. Bring your arms out to the side. Think about growing nice and tall. And then from here, you're going to side bend up and over to the right. Really reach through that left arm. Think about breathing into your ribs. Trying to find a little bit of space through the left side of your body. And then plant that hand down and then side bend up and over to the left. And then over to the right again. We're going to do a total of 3 to each side here. Taking your time. Not lifting the hips, just getting this nice stretch. One more time, over to the right. And to the left. Good, and then from here, you can bring your hand underneath, twist and rotate. That left arm is now straight. And then open up towards the ceiling in whatever manner feels good. And then twist. And lift. Really pressing the left hand into the floor. And back up. Good. Come to neutral and then sit all the way up. Both hands come behind your head. Take a big inhale. Exhale as you twist to the left. Again, press back with that right foot now if you have a wall behind you. And then center. Readjust if you need to touch that wall. Left leg stays relaxed on the floor. As you untwist to the right and then back over to the left one more time. And twist to the right. And then shake it out. From here, before we switch sides one last time, extend your arms out to the side. Fall up and over to the left one more time. And then bring your right hand down to meet it. Bring your left hand back a little bit so that your chest is sort of framed between your arms and you're pressing this right hip forward, so you're opening up through that hip. You're going to do a cat and cow here. So you're going to round your back. If you can add a little pelvis into it, that's great. And then you're going to think about pulling the heels of your hands back and lifting your chest up through your hands. If you need to come onto your fingertips a little here, that's totally fine. You should get that nice stretch through the whole right front side of your body. And then round your spine. Think about pressing the floor away as you round, and then drag the heels towards that left thigh as you unpeel yourself, pull yourself through. 2 more. Drag the heels back as you lift. The heels of your hands, not your actual heels. Good, and then come all the way up. We're gonna switch our legs one last time and add this on to the right side, well, other side. Reach that right arm out, place it down, and then bring the left hand to meet it. Walk the right hand back a little bit more if you need, and then think about reaching and lifting, opening up through that left hip. And then you're gonna press the floor away around. The farther your arms are away from your legs, the more space you'll have to do this. And then feel the heels, the hands, or the fingertips drag back as you lift and lengthen. And then press the floor away as you round slightly. And then pull through. And round. 2 more. Lift. And back down. Last one, uncurl your spine. Really drag the heels of the hands back. And then come all the way up. Bring your feet in front of you. Nice and wide, hands back behind you. And one more time, just windshield wipering through the knees. Good, one more time to each side. And then come onto your left side, laying all the way down onto the ground. You're gonna make a pillow for your head with your left arm, or your bicep can be the pillow and your arm can be outstretched all the way, your choice. You're gonna have your legs extended out underneath you. Both legs are long and they can be slightly in front of your hips. And just here, making sure that your spine is in a nice long line. So you're not rounded forward, you're not tucking under. Your tailbone is reaching down even though your legs are in front. You have like a little crease in the hip, hinge at the hip rather. And you're gonna lift your top leg up just a few inches. And then think like you have a ball in between your legs that you're trying to squeeze as you lower it all the way down. And then here, like you have one of those resistance bands across your thighs as you lift. And then you're squishing a ball as you press the leg down, creating a little bit of internal resistance. Your ribs are dropped down, drawn towards your hips. Head is in line with your spine. 3 more. 2. Last one. Good, extend that leg long. You can point or flex your foot, whatever you prefer. Think about reaching the tailbone back as you sweep the leg forward, hinging at the hips. You can have a slight bend in your knee here if you'd like, and sweep the leg back behind you as you open up through the front of the hip, only so much that you're not arching that low back. Your back stays still. And then sweep it back, open through the front of the hip. The theme today, if you will, is side body. So very clearly we have done rotating things, side bending, and there will be plenty more. 2 more like this. Last one, feel your hips reach back as you bring that leg forward, and then point and sweep it back. Good, bring your leg right in line with your bottom leg. Having it hip height or just a tiny bit higher, you're gonna float your bottom leg up to meet it and then lower both legs down together. Lift the top, lift the bottom leg, squeeze that ball lower down together. Lift, together, down. Your top arm is giving you support here, a little stabilization. If you want, you can try to lift that arm up. See how that changes things. 2 more. And then we're gonna lift both legs together. Bottom shoulder is relaxed, top shoulder is relaxed. Good, together here. You're gonna lift both legs up and lower back down. And if you need, fold your mat in half if this is too intense on your hip. And down. 3 more. Think like your bottom leg is taking that top leg for a ride. 2. Last one. And lower all the way down, both legs together. Bend your knees. And then from here, you're gonna lift your top leg and then lift your bottom leg to meet it. Lower just the bottom leg. Lift just the bottom leg. Lower the bottom leg. 4 more. This will come back again in class later on. 2 more. Last one. And lower all the way down. Feet together, and you're gonna lift up that top knee and then resist all the way back down. Same sort of imagery. You have the resistance band on the thighs as you lift, and then you're squeezing a ball together. Think like almost all the way up by your pelvis. The inner thighs are drawn together. 2 more. Last one. Good, and then from here, press your right hand into the ground, more or less where your mid chest is, and then bring your right arm across, or left arm rather, across your torso. And then from here, bring your knees in a little bit more, or your heels in a little bit more. So you're in a nice bent lower body, and then press the floor away. Rotate slightly towards the floor, and then start to rotate forward as you slowly lower all the way back down. You can lay your head all the way down on the ground if you'd like in between. And then when you're ready, take a nice big inhale. Exhale. Press the floor away. Try to press those arms down into the, or legs down into the floor. And then slowly bend your elbow nice and close towards your body as you lower all the way down. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Start your exhale before you press, twist, and rotate your torso towards the floor and down. 1 more time. Inhale here. Exhale. Press. Bring your arms both down. Round your spine. Press the floor away. And then find yourself with that little bit of extension here. 1 more time. Round your torso. Send your hips almost towards the floor, that top hip especially. And then pull yourself forward, finding that nice extension. Bring your left forearm down to the floor, and then bring your knees slightly back or your hips forward, whichever one works. Your feet are in line with your glutes. Hand can either be on your hip or behind your head, your choice. Feel that right arm, left forearm rather, drag in underneath you. Lengthen through the crown of the head, and then you're just gonna lift yourself up into a side plank, and then lower all the way back down. Lift yourself up into that side plank, and down. Think like someone's pulling those hips up. Four more. 3, pausing at the top. 2. And last one. And lower all the way down. Bring your right hand to the floor and then press yourself all the way up. You're going to have your right leg extended long. You're on that left hand now. Same thing, the heel of your hand draws in. You're finding length through the torso. And then you're just going to float yourself all the way up into a supported side plank here. And then lower your hips all the way down and lift back up. We're only doing 4 of these. 3. 2. Last one, pause here. Bring your knee underneath you a little bit more. And then bring your right leg to meet your left. From here, your heels and feet are together. You're going to open up into that clamshell and resist down. And open. And down. 4 more. Hips stay still. Pressing them slightly forward. 2. Last one. Extend the right leg long. Hand behind your head. Press the floor away. Really reach through that right leg, and then you're going to bring your left leg up to meet, and then tap it back down. We're doing 6. And if this is too much, you're going to leave your foot on the floor, and you're just going to bring that knee in from those toes. 2 more. Really start your exhale before you lift. Last one. Hold. Extend that leg out in front. Press up and take a nice side bend here. And then lower all the way down. And you're just going to switch sides and come to lay down. We're going to repeat that whole thing on the other side now. So, making that pillow for your head. Lay all the way down. Relax those legs. Bring them slightly in front of you. Head, shoulders, hips, all in a nice line. Nice neutral spine here. And lift that top leg up and resist it back down. Again, thinking that resistance band as you lift up, and then resist to squeeze a ball as you lower down. Four more. Pointed, flexed, flounced, doesn't matter. Two more. Last one. Perfect. Now, leave that leg up. You're going to hinge at the hip, bring it forward. And then resist as you bring it back. Find that opening through the hip, but again, not coming so far back that you're arching the back and splaying through the ribs. Hinge at the hip as you bring it forward. Keep reaching the sitting bones back behind you. And then sweep it back. And then hinge it forward. And sweep it back. Four more. Using this left arm on the ground for support. That leg stays at the same height as it comes forward and back. Last one. Good. Pause now with this, with the two legs stacked. You're going to lift your top leg, lift your bottom leg up to meet it, and then lower together. Top leg, bottom leg, lower, top, lower. Making sure you're breathing here. Two more. And then from here, you're going to lift both legs up together and lower down. And again, you can add that little balance if you would like, lifting and lowering and lift and lower. Three more. Two. And last one. Lower all the way down. Bend that bottom leg underneath you. Lift the left leg, extend it long. Lift the bottom leg up to meet it. And lower back down. And then lift and hold. And lower down. Lift and hold. And lower. 4 more. Think about lifting from the inner thigh, like you're drawing the inner thigh in towards your pelvis. 2. Last one. Lower all the way down. Bring your knees together. Let your feet come together, and then you're just going to open into that clamshell and resist back down. And open. And resist. 4. 3. 2. And last one. From here, plant that left hand into the ground. Wrap your right hand along across your torso. Lay your head down here for a second if you would like. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale. Lift yourself up. Twist and rotate towards the floor. And then lower all the way down nice and slowly. Adjust your hands as you need. 3 more. Inhale here. Exhale. As you lift. And resist. Nice and slowly back down. Elbow stays close to the body. Using your whole hand to press away. Also notice if your range of motion in that twist is different. What happens to the legs? Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Plant the right hand this time. Lengthen and find that extension. Ooh. Maybe you're like me and you realize, oh my gosh, your left side is, or right side rather, is so tight. Round your spine and then find that nice extension again. We're going to do 2 more. Last one. Good. And then coming on to your forearm here. And you are going to have your hand on your head or behind your, or on your hips or behind your head. And you're going to lift yourself up into that plank and lower back down. And lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. 3 more. Two. And last one. Lowering all the way down. You're going to press yourself up onto your hand. Bring your knee underneath you. And then find yourself with both knees together and your feet together. You're in a bit of a modified plank, like you're not in a full side plank. Your hand is a little bit more under you. You're a bit more upright, and you're going to come into this external rotation, the clamshell here. Hips are gently pressing forward. Your chest is open. Your right elbow is soft, pressing into the floor, but gently dragging back towards you to get that the lat on the right side engaged for 4. 3, and then we're going to add on 2. Last one. Good. Extend that left leg. Bring the right leg underneath and then lower down. From here, lift up, find that side plank again. We're only doing 5. And down. Two more. And we're going to add the lift of that right leg. Also, I didn't say this on the other side. Hold here, but if you need to come down onto your forearm for this, you are more than welcome to. Put that weight in the left leg and then drag that right leg up and lower it back down. Open through the chest. Lift and lower. Again, you can always tuck those toes under. Bring your knee in and then dropping the knee to the floor. And down. 2 more. Last one. Hold. Lower all the way down. Take a second here. Give your wrists a little roll. We will come onto our backs to give our wrists a little break. So swing your legs around and slowly lower yourself all the way back onto the floor here. Just take a second. Let yourself sort of settle if that got your heart rate up. It certainly got mine. Lift the arms up to the ceiling, and then think about pulling an imaginary, like, resistance band that's rooted to the ceiling down as you bring your elbows wide, and then you're going to bring the backs of your hands towards the floor. And then you're going to bring your palms up, fingertips towards the ceiling, and then let your palms come towards the floor, rotating in the other direction. Only going as far as you can, keeping your torso all the way on the ground. And then back up and lift towards the ceiling. Give yourself enough space to do this. As I talk to myself. Again, pull, think about creating that imaginary resistance, but also creating some width across the chest. Slide the arms back, rotate open through the chest as the backs of the hands come towards the floor. And then reach the fingertips towards the ceiling as you rotate. And then rotate your palms down towards the ground just as far as you can comfortably go. Again, without changing through the back. And then rotate the fingertips towards the ceiling and then reach up. We're going to do 2 more like this. Palms of the hands rotate back. All the rotation comes from the upper arm. And then internally rotate palms towards the floor. Fingertips towards the ceiling and then lift up. Last time, create that resistance. Elbows reach wide. And then reach the palms overhead. Backs of the hands towards the ceiling. Palms of the hands towards the floor. And then pause and bring the palms all the way back towards the floor. Find the connection, especially between the backs of your ribs and your shoulder blades onto the floor. Reach the arms up overhead as high as you can, keeping your back on the ground and also keeping your arms on the ground as much as possible. Just go as far as you can until you start to feel a stretch through the chest, the armpit, the underarm. Take a breath. Bring the arms back. Drag them down. Coming just to that goalpost pose. We're going to do this overhead 3 more times. Going nice and slowly, trying to open up through the elbows, keeping the space through the shoulders and the ears. Bring the arms back to that goalpost starting position. 2 more. Drag them overhead. And then bring them back. 1 more time. Whew. And then bring them all the way back. And 1 more time, you're going to rotate your palms towards the floor. Only so far as you can go. Pause here. Exhale. And then bring your arms by your side, but keep them a little bit wide. And you're just going to let your right leg fall out to the side, keeping that left hip down. And resist to bring it back in. Staying on your right side, really isolating that side and keeping the weight nice and heavy. And the left side as that right leg creates a little bit of a challenge. 2 more. Last one. Resist and bring it back in. Left side out to the left. Right hip is really rooted and anchored down into the ground. Feel the inner thigh draw in to bring your legs back together. Like there's a magnet between your legs, except that that magnet is at the inner thigh, not the knee. The knee is just along for the ride. 2. Last one. Good. Pause here. Let both legs come out to the side. Only going so far that you haven't just like let them go. You're still keeping that resistance, and then drag them all the way back in. But feel almost like your hip bones gently wrap in towards one another as you do so. Let them fall out to the side, still keeping that little bit of engagement through the torso. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale. Feel the lift of your pelvic floor, gentle draw in of the ribs and the hips as you bring the inner thighs together. 2 more. And last one. Inhale here. exhale, bring them all the way back in. Bring your legs, or feet rather, a touch closer in. And then from here, you're gonna bring your arms down to the sides. Again, if they were not there already. Press your feet into the floor as you lift the hips up. Find yourself in a shoulder bridge here. Your shoulder blades are on the ground, not a shoulder bridge, just a regular bridge. Drop the hips back down, hinging at the hip. Lift the hips. Think about reaching the knees away as you lengthen through the hip flexor and quad, and then hinge at the hip to bring yourself down. 4 more just like this. Press through the floor as you lift. And down. Think about melting through the sternum still, even though you're just lifting and lowering through the pelvis. Last one, pause at the top. Extend the right leg long towards the floor, and then lower your hips, and lift, and lower, and lift. Your heel is on the ground, but your hips are staying nice and square, so you're not lifting up very high, but the large majority of the weight is in that left foot. So even though you're doing sort of unilateral single foot bridge here, even though your right foot is on the ground giving you support, the work is still in that left side. 3 more. 2. Last one. Drag that right leg in. Square your hips off. Extend the left leg. Lower the hips. Lift the hips. That right knee is going straight up towards the ceiling. The left toe is reaching towards the ceiling as well. If you want, take a second, lift your head. Check in on those hips. All that weight in that right leg. Your left leg is there just to give you stability. 3 more. 2. And last one. Drag that leg in as you lift your hips. From here, you're going to twist and rotate your hips over towards the right. Bring them to the center and then go over to the left. Just the pelvis is rotating. Reaching long through the knees as you rotate. 2 more. Keep your hip to the right. You're going to dip your right hip towards the floor and lift, keeping yourself in this little pelvic twist. Lift and lower for 4. 3. Pressing evenly through both feet. 2. Last one. Square your hips off and then twist them over to the left. Dip your left hip down and lift. For 6. Press. 5. 4. 3, almost like you're reaching that right hip to the ceiling. 2. Last one. Square your hips off, curl your tailbone under, soften through the sternum as you bring your arms to a goalpost and come all the way down to the floor, low back, and then release to the tailbone. Bring the knees into your chest and grab behind the thighs and gently rock back and forth from one side to the other. And then from here, you're going to come onto your left side and press yourself all the way up. You had to take your hair out. You can have a second to fix it like me. And then we're going to come onto all 4s. Actually, we're going to come onto forearms version of all 4s. So your knees are right underneath your hips. And from here, you're going to make a fist with your right hand and just bring your left hand around it, or the other way. Or you can interlace your fingers, whatever feels better, but press your whole hand and forearm into the floor. And then sink your torso down. Let your shoulder blades come towards one another. Your shoulders may be slightly up towards your ears. And then you're going to really press into the floor. Feel the wrap of the upper arm around, the wrap around your lats, your shoulders as you press the floor away. Find length through your neck. And then again, let yourself sink down. Press up, find that engagement. And lower down. Press up. and lower down. You can always bring your hands just in line with one another, straight out from your shoulders. Palms can face either up or down, your choice as you are doing any of these little planks that we're going to get to in a second. Last one, press up. Hold this engagement through the armpits. You're going to walk your feet back. Tuck your toes under and then find yourself in a nice forearm plank here. Press your hips up towards the ceiling and lift. And then come back and find your nice plank. Lift up. Hinge at the hips. Adjust your feet if you need, and then find your plank. And then again, lift the hips, getting a stretch through the shoulders, and keeping that press away from the floor as you come down. Hips up and come down. 2 more. Last one. Hips in line with your head and spine, everything in a nice long line here. And then soften through the knees and just lower your body onto the floor, but keeping your torso lifted. Feel the heels of the hands. Feel the hands and the elbows drag into the floor and slightly back press to lift yourself up here. You're going to bend that right leg, kick in towards your glutes and extend. Kick with the left leg rather, and extend. Can you please move, Julio? Kick, and extend. Really pressing the floor away. And if this is too much extension for you, you're just going to lower down onto the floor. All the way and make a little pillow for your head. 3, 2, last one to each side. Good. From here, finding yourself melting towards the floor. Drop your head. Take a second here. If you want to come all the way down onto the ground, actually go for it. We're going to go back up to plank in just a second. You're going to give your hips a little shake from one side to the other. And then you're going to bring your arms back into whatever forearm plank positioning you are using. Press the floor away. Tuck the toes under. Reach back through the heels, through the crown of the head, and then you're going to lift yourself up and find that plank. And then from here, press your hips up. Find yourself in this down dog. And then one more time back to your regular plank. And then you're going to come up onto your hands. If you need to drop down to your knees here, by all means do so. You are going to point your toes or shift your weight forward and shift your weight forward. But if you're on your knees, you're just shifting your weight forward. And then you're going to bring your heels back, shift your weight back. So bring your weight over your hands like you're looking over a cliff and send your weight back. And if you're in a kneeling plank, your hips are going to come back and then you're going to come forward and back. Same thing. Finding your plank and then slightly coming out of it. 3 more. Really pressing that floor away. Nice and strong and supported through the shoulders. 2 more. Last one. Bring the knees nice and wide. Bring the hands forward and the hips back. Getting a nice stretch here. And then bring your knees underneath you over to one side of your mat. And you're just going to come into a little ball here. And send yourself forward with your knees together in a little all fours position. And you are going to bring your right hand in the center of your chest on the floor and your left hand to your shoulder. You're going to twist and rotate onto your hip. And then lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Bring your right hand behind your head and your knees are in a nice stacked position about 90 here. And your right hand's going to come behind your head as well. Or left hand rather behind your head. And then from here you're just going to twist and open up. Keep reaching that top knee forward as you twist. Relax through the shoulders. And then rotate back into your little adjusted fetal position here, and then open back up. And then coming forward. Last time open here. If you'd like, you can extend that arm or sweep it up overhead. Your choice, just hanging out here for another 15 seconds or so. Good, and then from here, let your hips sort of roll with you. Bring your feet onto the floor, a little wider than your hips. Your hands can stay behind your head, and you're gonna windshield washer your legs from one side to the other. One more time. Good, now leave them to the left. And you're gonna bring your right knee around and then stack yourself up on that right side. So knees in 90, hips at 90, head is supported by your hands, and then you're just gonna open up. Keep reaching that right leg forward. Think about finding length through this right side. And then coming back. And again, open up. And back. Last time we're going to hold this one open. And again, you can reach that right arm up if you'd like. Hang out here for 1 or 2 more breaths. And then bring your left hand to the floor, your right hand across your chest. Press yourself all the way up. And then we're going to find that 90-90 shape one more time. One more set of side bending. So whatever leg you would like to have in front, do that. And then whatever hand or whatever leg you have in front, that's the side we're going to side bend to first. So bring your arms out to the side. Side bend over to the side of your legs. Reach long. Think about rooting your opposite tailbone to the floor. And then come up and over, side bending over your back leg. And then again, side bending away from your legs. Really find that reach. A little bit of opposition. And then up and over towards your legs. Last one, over to the side of your, or away from your legs. And then towards your legs, and then we will change sides. Switch your legs around. And then again, lift up, arms really reaching out to the side, side bend away from the legs. Really reach long. Think about that opposite sitting bone really rooting down towards the ground, and then side bend up and over. And then the side bend, that's a reach. And then over to the left. Last one, over to the right. Pressing the floor away. And then up and over. And then come all the way up and swing your leg around, and you are all finished. Thanks.